Lena was never meant to be there. She was a human, small, quiet, and trained to work behind screens, not on battlefields. Her job was simple: check reports, study numbers, and send data to officers who actually fought. She had never held a real weapon before. She had never seen a monster with her own eyes. But one small error changed everything. A wrong code, a wrong file, a single mistake in the Galactic assignment system. Instead of being sent to a safe research station, Lena's name appeared on the list for the Monster Division, the most dangerous unit in the entire Galactic Alliance. A place where only elite alien warriors survived. A place where death was expected. No one double-checked the list. By the time the transport ship landed, it was already too late. The ramp opened, and hot air filled the cabin. The sky was red. The ground shook under heavy footsteps. Giant alien soldiers stepped out, fully armored, their weapons glowing with power. Then Lena stepped out behind them. The alien commander turned and froze. She was not tall. She was not armored. She did not look dangerous. She looked lost. "This is a mistake," one of the soldiers said, his voice sharp and angry. "A human does not belong here." The commander checked the datapad again. Lena's name was there, clear and official. "Orders are orders," he said. "She stays." Lena heard every word. Her hands shook, but she did not cry. She had learned long ago that fear solved nothing. Still, her heart beat fast as she looked around. This planet was a death world. Dark forests stretched for miles. Strange sounds came from every direction. Roars, screams, and deep vibrations that felt alive. This was a hunting zone, a place where monsters ruled. The aliens moved forward carefully. Lena followed, trying not to fall behind. They did not talk to her. They did not protect her. Most of them believed she would die before the day ended. Then the ground exploded. A massive creature burst from beneath the soil. It was huge, taller than a building, covered in armor-like skin with too many eyes and claws that cut through metal like paper. Alarms screamed. The alien soldiers opened fire. Energy weapons hit the monster, but it barely slowed. One soldier was grabbed and thrown into the trees. Another was crushed under a single step. The commander shouted orders, but panic spread. This monster was not in the records. Then the scanners went dark. Communications failed. Support ships could not reach them. They were alone. Lena watched everything. She did not scream. She did not run. She noticed things others missed. The way the monster turned its head before attacking. The way its heavy armor shifted when it moved. The soft spots under its jaw. A weapon slid across the ground and stopped near her feet. A fallen alien rifle still powered. Lena stared at it for half a second. Then she picked it up. The commander saw her and shouted, "Human, get back." She did not listen. Instead, she spoke calmly, her voice shaking only a little. "It's blind on one side," she said, "and it reacts to sound." No one answered her. The monster charged again. The aliens froze, trapped by fear and confusion. Lena stepped forward. She fired, not wildly but carefully. She aimed at the soft area she had seen. The shot did not kill the monster, but it made it turn. She fired again. And again. The monster roared in pain. The aliens stared in shock. "Follow me," Lena shouted. They did, using noise, movement, and timing. She led the monster toward unstable ground. With one final blast, the creature fell into a deep natural pit hidden under the dust. The impact shook the planet. Silence followed. The monster was dead. The alien soldier slowly turned toward Lena. She stood there, breathing hard, holding a weapon she had never trained to use. The commander finally spoke, his voice low and stunned. "That mistake," he said, "may have saved our lives." Lena looked at the dark forest ahead. She did not know it yet, but the Monster Division had just found its deadliest hunter, by accident. The alien soldiers did not cheer. They stood in silence, staring at the deep pit where the monster had fallen. Smoke and dust still rose from the broken ground. Their weapons stayed raised, but their hands shook. No one spoke to Lena at first. She lowered the rifle slowly and placed it on the ground. Her arms hurt. Her legs felt weak. Only now did her fear catch up with her. The commander finally broke the silence. "You should be dead," he said, not as an insult, but as a fact. Lena nodded. "I know." That answer confused them even more. They moved camp to a safer area as night approached. On this planet, night was worse than day. The sky darkened to a deep purple and strange lights moved between the trees. Something howled far away, long and hungry. The soldiers activated shields and sensors. Lena sat near the edge of the light watching. She noticed things again. The way the smaller creatures avoided open ground. The way sound traveled farther at night. The pattern of movement in the forest. "You should rest," one alien said coldly. "Humans break easily." Lena shook her head. "Not yet." During the night, the alarms rang again. Not one monster, but many. Fast shapes rushed toward the camp. Smaller than the first beast, but smarter. They moved in groups, testing the defenses. The alien soldiers fired and shouted. The shields flickered. Lena stepped forward. "They are probing," she said. "They're learning." The commander hesitated. "What do you suggest, human?" Lena pointed into the dark. "Turn off the outer lights." The aliens stared at her. "That will make us blind." "They already see us," she replied. "We need to disappear." Against every instinct, the commander gave the order. The lights went out. The camp went quiet. The creatures stopped. For several seconds, nothing moved. Then the aliens heard it. Confused sounds from the forest. The monsters had lost their target. The soldiers waited, silent still. When the creatures finally attacked again, it was too late. The aliens opened fire from hidden positions, cutting them down one by one. When the last creature fell, the commander turned to Lena. "You think like a hunter," he said. Lena did not smile. "I think like prey," she answered. "Prey that survives." By morning, word spread through the unit. The human was not lucky. The human was dangerous. High Command contacted the team later that day. The video feed showed several high-ranking alien officers. Their faces were hard and doubtful. "We have reviewed the battle footage," one said. "Explain how a human survived Monster Division combat." Lena stood straight. "I did not survive by strength," she said. "I survived by watching." The officers exchanged looks. "You have no combat training," another officer said. "That is true," Lena replied. "But I know fear. Humans live with it, we study it, we use it." Silence filled the channel. Then came new orders. Lena was not to be removed. She was to be tested. The commander felt a chill. Tests in the Monster Division killed veterans. The next mission came fast. A hunting ground marked extreme threat. No heavy support, no retreat. As the transport moved, the soldiers watched Lena differently now. Some with respect, some with fear. One asked quietly, "Why do you do this? You could ask to leave." Lena looked at her hands. They still trembled. "Because if I can do this," she said, "others like me won't have to die by mistake." The transport doors opened again. This time the planet was worse. The air burned the lungs. The ground was covered in bones, alien and unknown. Something massive moved beneath the surface. The commander whispered, "This mission has wiped out entire teams." Lena stepped forward. "Then we change how we fight," she said. The ground began to shake. Something ancient was waking up. And for the first time, the Monster Division did not lead the hunt. They followed a human. The ground did not stop shaking. Cracks spread across the bone-covered land as something massive moved below. The air smelled sharp and old, like dust that had slept for centuries. Every soldier raised their weapon, eyes fixed on the ground. Lena did not move. She knelt and placed her hand on the surface. She closed her eyes and listened, not with her ears, but with her body. Each vibration told a story. "It's slow," she said softly, "but it's patient." The commander frowned. "How can you know that?" "Because it waits between movements," Lena replied. "It doesn't rush, it's confident." That answer made several soldiers uncomfortable. The creature erupted from the ground without warning. It was wider than the transport ship, with layered armor plates and a mouth that opened like a broken gate. Its roar was deep and heavy, not angry, but certain. Weapons fired at once. The energy blasts hit the creature's armor and faded like sparks in the wind. The monster did not even turn. Panic spread fast. "Fall back!" someone shouted. But Lena raised her hand. "No, that's what it wants." The commander hesitated for only a second. "Hold position." The monster moved closer. Each step cracked the earth. Its shadow swallowed the team. Lena studied it quickly. She saw scars on its armor. Old damage. Faded. "This thing has been hunted before," she said, "and it learned." The monster slammed the ground. A shockwave threw soldiers into the air, shields failed. Weapons fell from shaking hands. Lena ran forward. Not away, toward it. "Human!" the commander shouted. "Get back!" She ignored him. She threw a small charge at the ground near the creature's front limb. It exploded, not to harm, but to distract. The creature reacted exactly as she expected, shifting its weight. "Now!" she shouted. The soldiers fired at the exposed joint. The armor cracked. Dark fluid spilled out. The monster roared, not in pain but in anger. It turned its attention fully to Lena. The soldiers froze. "She has its focus," someone whispered. "Why is it chasing her?" "Because she made herself a threat." Lena ran, leading the monster across the field of bones. She jumped over broken remains and sharp edges, moving where the monster could not easily follow. She was slower, smaller, weaker, but she was thinking. She led it toward a narrow canyon filled with loose stone. She triggered hidden charges the moment the creature entered. The walls collapsed. Dust filled the air. Rocks buried part of the monster's body. It screamed. The sound echoed across the land. The soldiers attacked together, focused, calm. The monster fought hard, breaking free piece by piece, but it was wounded now. Tired, Lena climbed a high ridge, breathing hard. She felt fear deep in her chest, but she did not let it control her. She saw the final weakness. The monster's eyes were not protected. She took a rifle, aimed. One shot. The monster fell. Silence followed again. But this silence felt different. The soldiers did not rush forward. They stared at Lena, standing above the fallen beast. One soldier finally spoke. "That thing killed hundreds." Another whispered, "And she hunted it." High Command received the report minutes later. This time there was no laughter, no doubt. "She did not just survive," an officer said. "She controlled the fight." Orders changed across the monster division. Lena was no longer considered a mistake. She was considered an asset. But not everyone was pleased. Some alien hunters felt insulted. They had trained for decades, fought since birth, and now a human gave them orders. One of them spoke to the commander in private. "She makes us look weak," he said. "She makes the monsters fear us." The commander replied quietly, "No, she makes the monsters fear her." That night, something strange happened. Scouts reported that nearby creatures were moving away from the area. Predators avoided the battlefield. Even the smallest beasts stayed silent. It was as if the planet itself was learning that a new predator had arrived. Lena sat alone, cleaning her weapon. Her hands were steady now. She did not feel proud. She felt responsible, because she understood something the others did not yet see. The monsters were not adapting anymore. They were retreating, and soon the galaxy would ask a dangerous question. If one human could make death worlds afraid, what would happen when more arrived? The change did not happen in one moment. It spread slowly like a quiet sickness. Monster sightings dropped across 3 nearby sectors. Patrols reported empty hunting zones. Traps stayed untouched. Sensors showed movement, but always far away, always retreating. The monsters were not gone. They were avoiding one place, Lena's location. High Command did not like this. They called an emergency meeting. On the screen appeared leaders from many species, armored giants, beings of light, creatures with cold, sharp eyes. "A human is disrupting the balance," one of them said. "The monster division exists to control threats, not to scare them into hiding." Another replied, "Or perhaps she is doing exactly what we never could." They turned to Lena, standing alone in the briefing room. "Explain," an elder officer demanded. "Why do the monsters flee from you?" Lena thought carefully. "Because they learn," she said, "and they remember pain." The room went silent. "You are saying monsters can fear?" an officer asked. "Yes," Lena answered. "Anything that can hunt can also be hunted." Some leaders looked uneasy. A new mission appeared on the screen. A red marker. Deep space. "There is one place they have not fled," the commander said. "A world known as Black Reach." Even the name caused tension. Black Reach was forbidden. No map stayed accurate, no signals lasted long, entire fleets vanished near it. "We believe something there is calling the monsters," the commander continued. "Guiding them." Lena studied the data. Her face hardened. "A controller," she said, "or a nest." "Or something worse," another officer added. They wanted Lena to go first. Not with an army. With a small team. The soldiers felt it immediately. This was different. This was not a hunt. This was a message. As the transport traveled, one alien finally asked what others feared to say. "What if this thing is smarter than you?" Lena looked at the stars. "Then it will make mistakes," she replied. "Smart things always do." Black Reach was darker than space should be. Light bent strangely around it. The planet below was broken, covered in deep scars. As soon as they landed, every sensor screamed. Not danger. Attention. Something was watching. The team moved carefully through ruined stone structures that did not match any known species. Walls were melted. Ground was glassed, as if burned long ago. Then the voice came. Not through speakers. Inside their minds. Human. Several soldiers dropped to their knees. Others screamed. Lena stood still. "I hear you," she said calmly. "You do not belong here." "Neither do you," Lena replied. The presence laughed. The sound felt heavy and sharp. "I guide the hunters, I shape fear." Lena's eyes narrowed. "Then you made a mistake." The ground shifted. A massive shape formed from shadow and stone. Not a monster. Something older, smarter. The soldiers raised weapons, but Lena stopped them. "No," she said, "this one wants something else." "You bring death, human. Why?" Lena took a step forward. "Because you taught them to hunt," she said, "and someone needed to teach them fear." The entity hesitated. For the first time it was unsure. Lena felt it probing her mind, searching for weakness, panic, surrender. It found none. It found memory. Storms, hunger, predators, war, survival. A species that refused to break. "You are loud," the entity said. "Your kind echoes." "That's called persistence," Lena replied. The entity recoiled. The ground cracked. High Command watched the feed in silence. They realized something too late. They had not sent Lena to stop the monsters. They had sent her to challenge something that ruled them. As the shadow pulled back, one final message echoed across Black Reach. "Your kind will change everything." Lena did not deny it. She turned to her team. "We're not done," she said. "We just became visible." Above them, the sky darkened. Across the galaxy, ancient systems began to wake, and humanity's quiet mistake was no longer quiet at all. The message from Black Reach did not fade. It spread, across military channels, across research stations, across worlds that had never heard a human voice before. "Your kind will change everything." Some leaders felt fear. Others felt hope. High Command locked the system down, but it was already too late. Ancient signals awakened across deep space. Old machines powered up. Long silent beacons began to speak. Something had been waiting. Lena stood aboard the command ship, watching star maps fill with warning lights. Each one marked a place where monsters gathered, not to attack, but to listen. "They're receiving orders," an officer said quietly. "From where?" another asked. Lena answered before anyone else. "From what I met," she said, "it's not alone." The council demanded answers. "What did you do to it?" one leader asked sharply. "I didn't fight it," Lena replied. "I showed it what humans are." That did not calm them. A new transmission arrived, clear and focused. Not inside the mind this time, but across open channels. "Human, come." The signal pointed beyond known space. A trap. Everyone knew it. But Lena did not hesitate. "If we don't go," she said, "it will come to us." A small fleet was formed, not for war, but for witness. As they traveled, Lena recorded a message, not for the council, for humanity. "We were sent here by mistake," she said calmly. "We survived because we adapt. Whatever waits for us out there, it will learn that." The fleet reached a dead star system. At its center floated a massive structure, older than any civilization in the records. It was not metal or stone. It looked grown. This was the heart. The monsters were there, thousands of them, standing still, silent, waiting. The presence from Black Reach emerged, stronger now, shaped like a towering figure of shadow and light. "You come without fear," it said. "I came with understanding," Lena replied. "Your kind should have been eradicated early." Lena tilted her head. "Many tried." The presence showed them visions. Ancient times, early space travel. Humans labeled weak, unimportant, left alone. "You were missed," it said. That was the error. Lena felt anger rise, but she controlled it. "You see survival as a flaw," she said. "We see it as purpose." The presence changed its tone. "We guide evolution by removing threats." "And you failed," Lena answered, "because we're still here." Silence followed. Then the monsters began to move, not toward the fleet, but away from Lena. They lowered themselves, backed off. The presence trembled. They obey me. No, Lena said softly. They fear me. That truth hit harder than any weapon. The presence attacked, not with force but with pressure. Space twisted, systems failed, minds screamed. The fleet began to break. Lena stepped forward alone. She opened her helmet. This is what you don't understand, she said. Humans don't need to win every fight. She broadcast human history, disasters, wars, losses, recovery. We lose, she continued, then we stand back up. The presence recoiled as if burned. Stop. Or what? Lena asked. You erase us? The presence hesitated. For the first time in its endless existence, it calculated risk. It saw a future where humans learned its secrets, adapted, returned stronger. You are a variable too dangerous. That's what they said about every human, Lena replied. The structure began to shut down. The monsters fled into deep space, directionless and afraid. The ancient system went dark. The fleet survived. When they returned, the galaxy was changed. Humans were no longer classified as minor species. They were labeled unpredictable apex survivors. Lena declined promotions, declined honors. She returned to the monster division, because mistakes still happened. And someone needed to make sure they didn't end in extinction. Far away in the deepest dark, something watched, not with hunger, with caution. The galaxy did not return to normal. It adjusted. Trade routes changed. Military plans were rewritten. Old threat charts were deleted and rebuilt from zero. One note appeared again and again in classified files. If humans are involved, expect the unexpected. The monster division was reorganized. New rules were added. New training methods were approved. At the center of it all was Lena. She did not wear heavy armor. She did not shout orders. She did not look like a legend. But every soldier listened when she spoke. Recruits from many species trained under her. They learned how to observe, how to wait, how to think instead of rushing forward. They learned that fear was not weakness. It was information. Fear tells you where to look, Lena often said. Ignore it and you die. The monster division became something new. It stopped reacting to monsters. It hunted them before they appeared. Reports soon followed. Creatures avoided human colonies. Predators changed paths near human ships. Even ancient beasts showed hesitation when human signals were detected. The galaxy noticed. A council member once asked Lena, "Do you enjoy being feared?" Lena shook her head. "No, I prefer being understood." That answer worried them more than any threat. Years passed. Humans entered more divisions. Not as conquerors, but as problem solvers, engineers, scouts, analysts. Hunters. Not because they were the strongest, but because they adapted faster than anyone else. One day, a young alien recruit asked Lena a simple question. Why were humans underestimated for so long? Lena thought for a moment. Because we look fragile, she said, and because we don't roar. The recruit tilted his head. Then what do humans do? Lena smiled slightly. We survive. Far beyond known space, remnants of the ancient guiding force watched quietly. It did not attack. It did not test. It remembered. It remembered a human standing without armor, without fear, challenging something older than stars. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Mistakes matter. Because one mistake sent a human to the monster division. One mistake changed how predators hunted. One mistake taught the galaxy a truth it would never forget. Humans do not need permission to become dangerous. They only need a reason. Lena stood on a viewing deck watching a training exercise below. Young hunters moved carefully, setting traps, watching patterns. They were learning the human way. She received a message, classified, urgent. A new anomaly. Unknown behavior. Unidentified threat. She closed the file calmly. Prepare a team, she said. I'll lead. The officers nodded without question. As the ship prepared to launch, Lena looked at the stars one last time. Somewhere out there, monsters still existed. Somewhere, something still believed humans were weak. She almost felt sorry for them, because the galaxy had already made its mistake, and humanity had turned it into a legacy.